At 3 o'clock in the morning on February 2nd, 1502, a chilling cry pierced the silent corridors of the Este castle in Ferrara. It wasn't a scream of fear or pain, but something far more haunting, a sound that carried the weight of destiny. Guards lowered their eyes, courtiers exchanged nervous glances, and the castle itself seemed to hold its breath. What they heard that night wasn't romance. It was the enactment of power, the kind of power that would shape the future of Renaissance Italy. That winter dawn, under the shadow of a blood-red moon, an event unfolded that official documents would hide for nearly 5 centuries. When those secret papers finally resurfaced, they revealed how a 22-year-old woman transformed her own body into a weapon of diplomacy, redefining both politics and womanhood in the process. That woman was Lucrezia Borgia, daughter of a pope, survivor of 2 political marriages, and one of history's most misunderstood figures. The early 16th century marked the peak of Borgia power. Rodrigo Borgia, now Pope Alexander VI, had catapulted his family from Spanish obscurity to the very center of Italian politics. Through cunning marriages, assassinations, and strategic alliances, he controlled much of Italia, fragmented land, divided between the rival powers of Naples, Milan, Venice, and the Papal States. In this turbulent chessboard of ambition, Lucrezia Borgia was not merely a daughter, she was a pawn designed to secure her father's empire. Twice married before her 22nd birthday, Lucrezia had already endured scandal, betrayal, and tragedy. Her first marriage to Giovanni Sforza was annulled on the humiliating grounds of his impotence. Her second husband, Alfonso of Aragon, was strangled inside the Vatican itself, a casualty of her family's ruthless political games. Yet, from each calamity, Lucrezia emerged stronger. She learned that in a world where women were traded like currency, intelligence was her only true defense. In late 1501, a new alliance was arranged, a marriage between Lucrezia Borgia and Alfonso d'Este, the heir to the Duchy of Ferrara. This union promised stability for both families. For the Borgias, it was an anchor in the north. For the Estes, it meant papal protection and immense financial gain. The terms were staggering. A dowry of 100,000 gold ducats, jewels, and lands. But the true cost wasn't measured in wealth, but in expectation. In Renaissance Italy, a marriage was a treaty, and a wedding bed was a battlefield. The consummation of a royal union held immense political and dynastic significance. It had to be witnessed, recorded, and certified. Failure in that ritual could nullify the alliance and destroy the reputations of both powerful houses. The act itself, private in appearance but public in meaning, became a ceremony of state. It was into this charged environment that Lucrezia entered. Ferrara city poised between sacred ritual and political theater. The date chosen for the consummation, February 2nd, 1502, was deliberate. It coincided with the feast of the purification of the Virgin Mary, a symbolic fusion of the divine and the profane. That night, the ducal chambers were transformed into a stage. Crimson velvet curtains surrounded a bed that gleamed under candlelight. Silver candelabras reflected against Flemish tapestries depicting wars and alliances, stark reminders of the high stakes. Every sigh, every movement, would become evidence of legitimacy. Lucrezia understood this ritual better than anyone. She had been humiliated once by an accusation of impotence and widowed once by murder. This time, she would control the narrative. Her new husband, Alfonso, was unlike the other, strong, intelligent, a soldier engineer who forged his own cannons. When the two met before their wedding, a genuine attraction sparked between them. That night, passion and politics intertwined. Their union, originally orchestrated as a performance, became a rare fusion of authenticity and calculation. It was said that the consummation was repeated multiple times under the watchful eyes of hidden witnesses, ensuring irrefutable proof. What might seem like a shocking intrusion today was, in their world, a critical political safeguard. The Este family could not afford even a whisper of doubt. The survival of dynasties depended on this rarefied intimacy. In this sense, the royal bedchamber was less a place of love and more a courtroom, and the verdict was power. When dawn broke over Ferrara, 2 people had changed their fate. Lucrezia was no longer a pawn of papal ambition. She was now the foundation of a new, powerful alliance. Alfonso had secured not only legitimacy but also influence, his virility now enshrined in official record. Their success silenced rivals and reshaped the Italian balance of power. Ferrara, long a secondary duchy, became a vital political center. But power rarely comes without consequences. Isabella d'Este, Alfonso's sister and one of the most influential women of the Renaissance, viewed Lucrezia as an intruder and a rival. The tension between them grew into a silent but devastating rivalry, one fought not on battlefields but through influence, charm, and whispered scandal. Lucrezia's ability to navigate these complex court dynamics transformed her from a survivor into a strategist. In the years that followed, she even maintained an affair with Francesco Gonzaga, Isabella's own husband, a union that combined genuine passion with shrewd political calculation. Letters uncovered centuries later reveal a woman of intellect and control, capable of manipulating affection without losing her sincerity. Through these relationships, Lucrezia wove a web of influence that extended across northern Italy, protecting herself and strengthening her position within the Este court. Lucrezia's transformation from pawn to power broker illustrates the extraordinary adaptability required of women in Renaissance politics. In a world dominated by men, she turned the vulnerabilities of her gender into instruments of survival. Her body, so often objectified by her contemporaries, became her shield and her weapon. Her intelligence, often dismissed by historians, was the key to her endurance. The events of that night in February 1502 became more than just court gossip. They set a precedent. From then on, the witnessed consummation became a standard practice in high political unions, ensuring legitimacy and preventing easy annulments. What began as a ritual of control for Lucrezia evolved into a doctrine of political survival for European royalty. Her story also redefines how we view the role of women in Renaissance power structures. Figures like Catherine de' Medici, Anne Boleyn, and Isabella of Castile would later employ similar methods, blending seduction, diplomacy, and intellect to shape the destinies of nations. They were not simply victims of their beauty, but commanders of it. Lucrezia Borgia's life reminds us that history's most powerful revolutions often occur behind closed doors, in candlelit rooms where silence speaks louder than war drums. She was not the monster her enemies described, nor the innocent her defenders imagined. She was something far more complex, a woman who mastered the art of survival in a world designed to destroy her. For Lucrezia, power wasn't a throne, an army, or a crown. It was endurance. It was the ability to turn shame into strategy, scandal into protection, and intimacy into influence. As history fades into myth, her voice lingers like a whisper through the corridors of Ferrara's old casula, reminder that the most dangerous secrets are never truly buried. They are merely forgotten. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into the hidden world of Renaissance power as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that history tried to forget. See you in the next video.